my esteemed brother and sister judges, distinguished former judges, Shri Kamal Trivedi, Learned Advocate General, Manisha Lavkumar, Learned Government Pleader, Mr. Mitish Amin, Learned Public Prosecutor, Mr. Devang Vyas, Learned Additional Solicitor General, Learned Central and State Law Officers, Mr. Kishore Bhai Trivedi, Chairman, Gujarat State Bar Council and members of the State Bar Council, Mr. Asim Pandya, President, Mr. Prithviraj Singhji Jadeja, Vice President, Mr. Hardik Brahmbhatt, Secretary, and other office bearers and members of the Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, learned registrars and other members of the Registry of the High Court, distinguished senior advocates, learned members of the bar, family members of late Justice Dr. J.N.Bhatt, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled here today to mourn the sad demise of Justice J.N.Bhatt, former acting Chief Justice of this court and former Chief Justice of Patna High Court, by recounting his personalities, qualities, achievements, and contributions. Although I was not fortunate enough to interact with Dr. Justice J.N.Bhatt, I have received inputs about him from my esteemed colleagues, senior members of the bar and registry, which I wish to share. Dr. Justice J.N.Bhatt was born on 16/10/1945 at Jamnagar in a family of lawyers. He had a brilliant academic career. He postgraduated in Commerce faculty. He obtained gold medal in LLM and stood university first in DTLP and DLLP. Thereafter, he did doctorate in law. He enrolled as an advocate on 1/8/1968 and then joined the legal firm Messrs. Bhatt and Bhatt Advocates, established by his grandfather, and practiced with his father in civil and legal remembrance for almost 4 years. He drafted several state legislations as secretary, legislation, and did work of parliamentary affairs. He was elevated to the bench of the High Court of Gujarat as permanent judge on 21/6/1990 and became the youngest district and sessions judge to be elevated to the bench, and the only judge having worked in the office of the registrar, Gujarat High Court, as well as law secretary and RLA, Government of Gujarat. Justice Bhatt was also deputed by the Government of India to the International Law Association Conference at Warsaw, Poland, and presented and read research paper on the law of arbitration. He attended 4 of the international conferences and more than 10 national conferences on diverse subjects. He traveled across globe and had visited courts of USA, UK, Canada, France, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Netherlands, Holland, Brussels, Amsterdam, Belgium, Mexico, Poland, Vatican City, Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, Sharjah, and Arab Emirates, and many more. He authored celebrated research papers on law of agency. He also authored more than 50 articles on jurisprudence, constitution, international law, alternative dispute redressal, legal aid and lok adalat, and judicial reforms, and most of them were published in All India Report, Supreme Court Cases, Supreme Court Reporter, Gujarat Law Reporter, Gujarat Law Herald, Gujarat Current Decisions, and many other journals. While working as Executive Chairman of Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, Justice Bhatt pioneered permanent 24 hours working, free and competent legal aid clinic first of its kind in the world. Round the clock, free and competent legal service is a unique and innovative idea of Dr. Justice Bhatt. He conceived and started novel idea of mobile free and competent legal aid and mobile Lok Adalat in Gujarat, which was inaugurated by the then Honorable President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, on 29/3/2003 at Ahmedabad, Gujarat. He was invited to address on international legal aid and ADR with leading members of the American Bar Association at Chicago, USA, while visiting USA. Justice Bhatt was honored by National Law Award 2000 for exemplary role in legal aid and administration of justice and for outstanding achievement and phenomenal success in providing free and competent legal aid and settlement of disputes of more than 21 lakh civil and criminal cases and other disputes in 5.5 years as an executive chairman, while actively working as a sitting judge of the High Court of Gujarat. Under the stewardship of Dr. Justice Bhatt as its executive chairman of the Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, the institution ensured settlement of more than 2 million cases of all types as on 1/9/2004, over and above 1,75,000 pre-litigation cases, and conducted 1,62,725 legal literacy camps and paralegal projects. While working as the president of Gujarat State Judicial Academy since May 2002, he gave dynamic and innovative judicial training programs and projects. Justice Bhatt was awarded degree of Doctorate of Philosophy in Law on the thesis and research work in Law and Justice. He was appointed as acting Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court and worked as such for more than 5 months. Justice Bhatt was elevated as Chief Justice of Patna High Court on 18/7/2005 and retired on 16/10/2007. He worked as a judicial member in the National Copyright Board. He was also selected and recommended by the Gujarat High Court and government for the post of Chief Justice of Nauru, an independent small country near Fiji Island. After retirement, Justice Bhatt was appointed as Chairman, Law Commission of Gujarat, and also the Chairperson, Gujarat State Human Rights Commission. After an illustrious career, Justice J.N.Bhatt passed away on 16/4/2022 at the age of 76. It is said the 5 great qualities of a great person in Vedas as follows: Patre Tyagi, Gune Ragi, Sambhavigicha Bandhushu, Shastre Bodhe, Rane Yuddhe, Purusha Panchalakshanaha. The meaning of the above is one who sacrifices for good cause, one who respects good deeds of others, one who acquires worldly knowledge, one who treats all equally, and one who exhibits valor at the time of crisis are the 5 qualities of a great and a good human being, which were found in abundance in Justice J.N.Bhatt. Justice Bhatt is survived by his wife, Mrs. Itashri Ben Bhatt, and 2 sons, namely Mr. Japan and Mr. Sapan, who are settled in USA with their families. Passing away of Justice Bhatt has caused great loss to his family, friends, and immense loss to the entire legal fraternity. On his death, we have lost not only an eminent judge, but also a great human being. I, on my own behalf and on behalf of all my sister and brother judges, express our heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family. May the Almighty give them strength to bear the great loss and overcome the grief. May the departed soul rest in eternal peace.
My lords, on behalf of the legal fraternity of the state of Gujarat, and on my own behalf, while associating with the sentiments that have fallen from my lord, Honorable the Chief Justice, I express our deep sense of sorrow on the sad demise of Honorable Mr. Justice J.N.Bhatt, fondly called as Chitubai. Dr. Justice Bhatt is no more with us. On his lordship's passing away on 16th April 2022 due to cardiac arrest, we have lost a person with great wisdom, innumerable laurels, manifold accolades, eminent jurist, and above all, a friend of all. The philosophy relating to death is aptly enunciated in the 20th versa of 2nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I quote, "Na jayate mriyate va kadachi, nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah, ajo nityaha shashvatayam purano, na hanyate hanyamane sharire." Unquote. Meaning thereby, The soul is neither born, nor does it ever die, nor having once existed, does it ever cease to be. The soul is without birth, eternal, immortal, and ageless. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. As referred to by my Lord, born on 16th October 1945 at Jamnagar, Justice Bhatt finished his schooling at Jamnagar, whereafter his Lordship attained degree in law, postgraduate degrees in commerce, and law with gold medals, followed by doctorate in law from Saurashtra University. Shri Jitubhai enrolled as an advocate on 1st August 1968 and started working in the office of his father, Shri Nanabai Bhatt, who was a renowned lawyer on civil side in Jamnagar. According to his lordship's contemporaries, Justice Bhatt had started showing glimpses of becoming a versatile lawyer right from the initial days of his career. In the year 1976, his lordship joined the office of the government pleader Jamnagar and worked as a central government counsel in special matters relating to armed forces, labor cases, insurance cases. His lordship was also legal advisor to various municipal corporations, nationalized banks, insurance companies, while practicing civil, constitutional, labor, rent, and insurance laws. Simultaneously, as referred to by my lord, his lordship was also working as a part-time lecturer in law college, teaching jurisprudence, constitutional law, and commercial law for more than 5 years. His lordship had earned the distinction of being the youngest practically in every field. He joined the judicial service in 1977 directly as a district and sessions judge, as the youngest candidate at the age of 31 years only. He was also the youngest registrar of this honorable court and had also worked as the youngest secretary and remembrancer of legal affairs in the state government for almost 4 years. He was also the youngest judicial member in the National Copyright Board. His lordship came to be elevated to the bench of this honorable court as a permanent judge on 21st June 1990. His lordship had also an occasion to act as an acting chief justice of this honorable court. While acting as the executive chairman of Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, his lordship pioneered permanent 24 hours working free and competent legal aid clinic. Round the clock free and competent legal service was a unique and innovative idea of Dr. Justice Bhatt, who had also conceived and launched the novel proposition of mobile free and competent legal aid and mobile Lok Adalat in the state, which was inaugurated by the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, on 29th March 2003 at Ahmedabad. As on 1st September 2004, as was referred, Gujarat State Legal Services Authority had settled more than 2 million cases of all types, over and above 1,75,076 pre-litigation cases. His lordship was deputed by the Government of India to the International Law Association Conference at Warsaw, Poland, wherein he had read his research paper on law of arbitration. His lordship had authored numerous articles on jurisprudence, constitutional, international law, ADR, legal aid, and Lok Adalat, and judicial reforms, as well as his celebrated research paper on law of agency. Dr. Justice Bhatt was invited to address on international legal aid and alternative dispute resolution system with leading members of American Bar Association in Chicago, US. His lordship was presented National Law Award 2000 for outstanding achievement in providing free and competent legal aid and settlement of lakhs of disputes in civil, criminal, and other types of cases in a span of more than 5 years as the executive chairman. On 18 July 2005, his lordship was elevated as the Chief Justice of Patna High Court and worked as such till retirement on 16th October 2007. Shri Jitubhai had a gentle heart and was a very considerate and helpful to all. He was fond of reading and traveling. Most importantly, Shri Jitubhai was a simple man coming from modest background, which reflected his conduct and behavior. During the tenure as a judge of this honorable court and as the Chief Justice of Patna High Court, his lordship's contribution covers a wide range of judgments, practically in every sphere of law. After retirement, Justice Bhatt was appointed as the chairman, Law Commission of Gujarat on 5th December 2008 up to 8th August 2011, and immediately thereafter as the chairperson of Gujarat State Human Rights Commission up to 15th October 2015. While looking after these assignments and even thereafter, Justice Bhatt continuously maintained his touch with academics as honorary visiting professor taking lectures on various subjects of law at Forensic Sciences University, Gujarat National Law University, and Nirma Law Institute. Justice Bhatt is no more with us. He passed away on 16th April 2022 at the age of 76 years and survived by his wife, Hiteshuben, and two sons, Dr. J.N.Bhatt Bhatt and Shri Sapanbhai Bhatt, who both are settled in the US with their respective families. We wish that Dr. Justice Bhatt had remained with us longer, but God has willed otherwise. However, his memory will always remain with us. This reminds me of 8th shloka of 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I quote, Shariram yada vapnoti yayachutrakam trishora gruhi taynati sanyati vairugandha nivashat. I unquote. Meaning thereby, as the wind carries fragrance from place to place, so does the embodied soul carry the mind and senses with it when it leaves an old body and enters a new one. Indeed, Shri Jitubai has left behind the fragrance of his kind deeds as a very fine human being. On behalf of the bar and the legal profession, we convey our heartfelt condolences to bereaved family members of Dr. Justice J.N.Bhatt. May the departed soul rest in peace eternal.
Please, my lords. Honorable Chief Justice, other honorable judges, learned Advocate General, learned Government Leader, learned Public Prosecutor, learned Additional Solicitor General, learned Senior Advocates, learned members of the bar, family members of late Dr. Mr. Justice J.N.Bhatt, learned Registrar General and other officers of the High Court Registry. I personally and on behalf of the Gujarat High Court Advocates Association associate myself with the expression of grief and sorrow fallen from Honorable Chief Justice and learned Advocate General. I fully agree with the statement of Honorable Chief Justice and learned Advocate General that upon the death of Honorable Justice J.N.Bhatt, we have lost a legal luminary and a gentle human being. When I recall my personal experiences of appearing before Honorable Justice J.N.Bhatt, I feel that he was very kind and courteous judge, having a fine legal acumen. In his court, every lawyer was assured of a dignified treatment and patient hearing. Justice Bhatt would discharge his duties with a smiling face and would not lose his temper despite whatever complex situation a particular case might present. He would always encourage junior members of the bar and even help them in presenting their case. I would like to share one incident of arguing a conviction appeal pertaining to a murder case based on circumstantial evidence when I was quite junior. Justice Bhatt, while sitting with Honorable Justice A.L. Dave in the old court building, guided me in how to argue criminal appeal. With his active encouragement, I ultimately succeeded in appeal and the conviction was set aside on the ground that the chain of circumstantial evidence was not complete. Justice J.N.Bhatt had a great liking for the legal aid movement and ADR. His contribution in establishment of a 24/7 legal aid clinic and encouraging parties to opt for alternative dispute redressal mechanism is par excellence. His love for English language can be seen from the judgments penned down by him. I would like to refer to two of his landmark judgments out of many, where his understanding of law and his originality is self-evident. In Jaimin Desai versus Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industries, reported in AIR 2000, Gujarat, page 139, while interpreting section 104, read with order 43, rule 1 of CPC, in juxtaposition to clause 15 of the latest patent, he held that intra-court appeal would not be maintainable under clause 15. And at the same time, Honorable Judge also felt that and recommended that the latest patent, which is a relic of British past, should be abolished and there should be a more rational intra-court appeal procedure provided under the rules. So it would be a befitting tribute to Honorable Justice if the latest patent are abolished and in the place of current latest patent, there has to be an intra-court appeal rules providing some rational thinking on the line of order 43 rule 1. So that was one of his contribution. And second judgment was in the state of Gujarat versus Natwar Thakur, reported in 2005 Criminal Law Journal, page 2987, wherein, while interpreting the provisions of the Gujarat Prohibition Act, which provided for minimum sentence, and the issue was whether the trial judge could impose a minimum, a less than minimum sentence. And while giving a purposive interpretation of the provision, it was ultimately held that in a given case, in the background of the special facts and circumstances of a case, the punishment can be imposed, which would be less than minimum. So these are the two instances where his original thinking can be seen from the judgment. By the death of the Justice J.N.Bhatt, the entire legal fraternity has lost one of the best judges and above all, a humble human being. I myself and on behalf of Gujarat High Court Advocates Association convey our heartfelt condolences to the family members of late Honorable Justice Dr. J.N.Bhatt. God may give enough strength to the family members to face this difficult time. May his soul rest in peace. Om Shanti.
As a mark of respect to the departed soul, 2 minutes silence will be observed. The Registrar General may convey the message of condolences to the members of the bereaved family. As a mark of respect to the departed soul, the proceedings of the court would stand suspended for the rest of the day.